Hey, I'm back. Yep, I took a couple days off. Probably know why. It's kind of like what I did while I was working for other people at other jobs and when I was in college and in high school and junior high. When March Madness was on, I was nowhere to be found. Same with me for the last 4 days. So here I am back finally. And I've been missing doing this, but I've literally had zero time with so many basketball games to watch. And, they must be watched in order for teams of the Cinderella nature to advance, because without me watching and rooting them on and telling the other team how much they suck and how good of a play they made, and, for the Cinderella team, the underdog, that's why they win. Of course, it has everything to do with what I say as I scream at my TV about it. But nonetheless, I digress. Speaking of the NCAA tournament, what a tournament it's been, right? This has probably been the greatest basketball tournament in a very long time, if not ever. One of those reasons is 4 seeds, 13 and lower, have made it to the second round, which is amazing, which has never happened before. Of course, with the pandemic and all the scheduling issues, I don't know, there's a lot to be said for what the seedings should be and shouldn't have been. So perhaps some lower seeded teams should have been ranked higher or seeded higher, and vice versa. That's perhaps why this has occurred. I don't know. But either way, my Loyola Chicago Ramblers, Sister Jean rocking it, showing up, getting the okay, getting her vaccine. Love seeing her. She's aged a little bit in 3 years. And I'm wearing my Ramblers shirt. You can see it. If I can get to the camera, there you go. Final Four from 2018. Sporting my Loyola Chicago. I just wish I had a shirt with Sister Jean dunking from her wheelchair over the top of the Fighting Illini. Kind of like the post I posted on Instagram the other day. So if you hadn't seen that yet, go check it out on my Instagram. Also, they're the real deal. When they faced Illinois, I pretty much was almost a lock for me that they were going to beat them. And as soon as they jumped out to that lead and they never relinquished it, they never let the gap get closer than 6 points, and led as much as 14, won by 13. And the way they did it was awesome defensive scheming by Porter, Moser, and the execution of those guys getting out there and blitzing the double team. Blitzing the ball screen with a double team, frustrating the heck out of those guards, Io, and the other two, Frazier, and the other third guy off the bench, I forget his name. Starts with a C, last name. But anyway, all three of those guys turned the ball over constantly. They were out of rhythm, out of sync. They just couldn't get any easy looks. It made for a very frustrating day where they just couldn't put the ball in the basket very easily, even though they're big, right? Coffee Coburn had still a pretty decent game overall, but for the most part, it was a non-factor. It was never a momentum shattering moments on any of his plays. Okay, so they did a fantastic job. I couldn't believe how well he shot the free throws. That was very frustrating down the stretch. I think he was 7 of 8. He's like 54%. So, there's that. Krutwig was amazing. He shot well. He played well. He made amazing pocket passes from the high post. Everything played through him. He was the facilitator. You could just tell his basketball IQ is just amazing compared to Coburn. I mean, that's why, Coburn might be a physical specimen, but Krutwig is definitely the basketball IQ, is a way higher IQ in basketball. Knows what to do, how to do it, how to take advantage of things and get the job done. He had 19, 12, and 5 assists. And it was awesome. Awesome to say the least. Moving on, number 13, Ohio with Jason Preston. They upset Virginia. That was a hell of a game. That was pretty awesome. Preston had a pretty good stat line there, too. He didn't score all that many points, but he had a lot of rebounds. I think he had 13 rebounds and 8 assists. They end up moving on. Then Wisconsin shot lights out, blew out UNC. Who knew that was going to happen? I didn't. I think I picked them in one bracket where, I've got to pick my hometown team to go the distance and win the championship. So, there's that. Then they went ahead and they lost to Baylor, and that was a given. But you know what? When I was watching that game too, if they would have kept the two bigs in, Reavers and Potter, and they would have went down low to those guys and run inside and out from those guys touching the ball first and foremost, especially when Baylor was in the bonus. I think it would have been a whole different game, because when they got down to 7, if they would have game planned like that about the 8-minute mark onward, I think they would have had a real shot at upsetting Baylor too. But I don't think Coach Gard was thinking, or I don't think he wants to change how he coaches. So therefore, that's how it went. Cinderella stories, number 15, Oral Roberts, still alive and kicking in Sweet 16. Second time a 15 seed has ever made it to the Sweet 16. First time was Florida Gulf Coast in 2013 under Andy Enfield. He moved on right after that, of course, and took the job at USC. He's still there, and USC also is in the Sweet 16 this year under him and doing very well. They crushed Kansas yesterday by 34. Number 14, Abilene Christian shot just 29.9% and 16.7% in their victory over Texas. And the reason they did that was they forced 23 turnovers, only turned it over 11 times themselves, and they outshot Texas, which is amazing, 67-40, which is the reason why they could shoot so horribly and still win the game, which is baffling to me. It's mind-blowing, but that's why shooting is everything when it comes to the game, right? And so whoever shoots best usually wins, no matter how you spin it. Rick Pitino got his new team, Iona, in the first year into the tournament as a 15 seed. That was pretty impressive. Of course he does, because that's what he does. He's just a great coach. Richard Pitino, his son, not so lucky, got fired from Minnesota after 8 seasons. I guess I could see it coming. I thought he did a hell of a job over there with what he had, and I thought it was getting better and better. So that was kind of frustrating to see them give up on him, although I could see why as well. And then, of course, number 12, Oregon State, is in the Sweet 16 after winning the Pac-12 championship for the first time ever. That's crazy, and they're looking strong. We'll see how they look come Saturday or Sunday, whenever they play again. Oregon also got that walk, I call it, or whatever you want to call it. They didn't have to play against VCU in the first round because VCU had a positive COVID test, and they had to forfeit their game. And then they looked super strong against Iowa, which was really shocked. I hadn't seen Oregon play, but I didn't think they were going to be that good this year. But it didn't look like Iowa wanted to play any defense, which was shocking, even though Luka Garza was awesome. He had 36 points in his final game as an Iowa Hawkeye, and we'll see him in the NBA next season after he gets drafted. I don't know how many years he'll be there, though, because I'm not so certain unless he picks up some kind of outs. Well, I don't know. If he gets a little quicker, maybe he has a little more longevity, but he's pretty slow, and I'm not quite sure if his lack of speed is going to ultimately hurt him playing in the NBA. So I say he gets drafted. I say he plays a year or two. I see him getting kind of ousted from the NBA after about that. Probably goes and plays overseas or something else. We'll see. Yeah, so that pretty much kind of sums up the weekend as far as I'm concerned, because that's all I did was watch basketball from beginning to end, 12, 13-hour days. It was awesome. I love it. That's what I missed so much last year during March Sadness. So thank you for bringing back March Madness and the NCAA tournament this year. That's really been a winner for me overall. I just pray and hope that no more teams have any more positive COVID tests and end up having to forfeit. And that would really suck, especially my Loyola Chicago Ramblers, and or any other of the Cinderellas heading through. So good luck to everybody. Hopefully nobody else gets the old big C. Not the big C, but you know what I mean. Also, I got to address these two things because they've been top of mind. Of course, the Boulder shooting last night or yesterday at the King Supers with that 21-year-old kid shooting and killing 10 people. That is just horrific news. And, our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody who was involved in that. And it saddens me every time we see one of these incidents happen. Of course, there's just, never a good explanation for it and good reason for it. And as I get older, I keep thinking about all these silly things about, when you're younger, you don't think about all these tragic events really affecting you or that they'll ever happen to you. But as you get older, of course, we all get more and more concerned because we all have more and more loved ones. We don't want to see something like this, some kind of tragedy or happen like this. So we are more, we're more concerned about these things happening, even though they're uncontrollable and you can't think about them. But when you do, it gets a little tough, and we can, it's hard to go through. And then, of course, I don't know if you guys heard about this either, but there was just on the 21st, was reported. I think it probably happened on the 20th or so, I don't know, of March. A 12-year-old was standing in line with his family at a Pittsburgh McDonald's, and some random 50-year-old man decided to stab him in the neck with a box cutter. And he was in critical condition, but I guess he is doing well. He's in stable condition, at least as far as I know. The last report I heard, I don't know if this news story made as much notoriety. It probably should have. And of course, I saw it in my Yahoo Daily News that comes through in my old Yahoo account. And, it's hard to believe that for whatever reason, this guy, must have been crazy or whatever, decided to do something so horrific as well. And again, it doesn't always have to be a gun involved. And I'm not trying to say anything about guns, but, there's just the sense of, why or how these persons decide to do these things is, obviously beyond our scope of rationale because we're sane individuals. And when insane individuals or crazy people in general, or people with ulterior motives and agendas for whatever those ulterior motives or agendas are, do these things, it's usually something we just can't cope with or can't quite grasp overall, And finally, on a little lighter note, I started a Telegram group that I call my super secret Telegram group for entrepreneurs of all shapes and sizes. So, hey, no matter what type of business you run, feel free to jump in there. I'm going to be posting about my live events. So when I go live, like I should have tonight, and I forgot to, I should have posted in there and let everyone know that I was hopping on live, so that anybody that would have seen that could have easily been notified prior to me actually going live, and could have hopped on and tuned in. But anyway, if you want to get to that, you can see it scrolling on the bottom of my ticker there. It's kerrystelegram.com. We'll take you to the group for you to join. And I'm also going to be sharing some other quick little things here and there, some video, audio, text of whatever I feel would be beneficial for that group. And that could be anything that comes to mind, or things I might be working on or doing that I just think I need to share, and I think will be of benefit to anybody who's in that group. So join it. It's free, and we'll test it out and see how it goes. And so that's all I got. I'll be back I might not be back tomorrow. In fact, I have to go to the dentist in the morning, and I'm getting a lot of work done on the left side of my mouth. About 3 weeks ago, I got the right side done. Now I'm getting the left side done. I'm getting all my old silver fillings taken out. And so I'm getting like 2 or 3 fillings on the left side. And then I'm also getting 2 new crowns as well. And last time I got, I think, 2 fillings removed and replaced, and with composite or whatever they call it. And then I got 1 crown on the right. So, and it's going to be a long procedure, I guess. I don't know, a couple hours or something like that. So I'm taking something called triazolam, which is like Halcyon. And I took it last time and it was awesome. So for any of you out there that don't love going to the dentist, or especially don't love holding your mouth open or sitting there and knowing all the stuff that's going on, listening to the drill and whatever, whatever it is that doesn't appeal to you about going to the dentist, which what does really, I highly suggest you try it out and ask your dentist about taking it. It's pretty cool. The one thing, it does screw up your sleep a little bit because it makes you so tired and kind of out of it after you get done that you want to sleep, and you will sleep it off a little bit. So I slept it off last time. I think I did like an extra 3 or 4 hours of sleep, which kind of screwed up my sleep schedule a little bit for that next night or that same night, but it's worth it. It basically, you kind of think nothing's different, and you kind of feel like you're completely normal, but you really don't remember a whole lot of it. And I think you do fall asleep for the most part, at least to a point where you are not aware of what's really going on, because I have very little to no memory of what exactly happened the last time I was there. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, try it out. Triazolam or Halcyon is what it's called. That's it. So if I don't see you tomorrow, that's why. If I do, if I'm feeling good and I'm feeling chipper and I'm up and alert and ready to rock and roll, maybe I'll hop on here again tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll probably try to tune in on Thursday. I head out of town this weekend for my son's Made Hoops tournament again. It's the championship weekend for them, so probably won't be back on other than Thursday, maybe Friday morning. Otherwise, it won't be again until Monday. All right. Well, have a good night. Going to go pick up my son from basketball practice, and yeah, go Loyola Ramblers. Hopefully they keep on advancing, get back to the Final Four, maybe get to the championship. I'd love to see that happen. All right. Have a great night, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow, if not Thursday. All right. Take care. Thanks.